All right, guys. So, welcome on this first session. This is not going to be a demo session. This is going to be a live session now. I think few of you already attended my previous demo sessions, in which I was mostly talking about the course content and how we're going to do it and what are the things which you're going to face while doing it, and stuff like that. And I also showed some demos of frameworks and all those things. But this is not going to be that. This is going to be a starting session for us where I'm going to walk you through with some basic fundamentals or the starting side of automation testing. Of course, I will not be boring you with what is automation testing and what is testing and this and that. My focus will not be telling you bookish things and making you bore. Rather, I'll try hard to make it more interesting. That has always been my intention in my all my previous sessions, but sometimes things may get boring and you can actually shout it out if you're feeling sleepy. All right, okay. Now I will do a quick introduction of myself, because there are few people who have joined this session for the first time. So I'll quickly tell about myself, but I will not ask introduction from all of you, because again it is maybe boring, or maybe it will consume some time, and I don't want to do that today. At least we definitely have to do it because I want to know about you guys, and I want all of you to know about each other as well. But that is for some later time. We'll do it later. For today, I'll start with myself. Let me tell you my introduction. So I am Akash. I have around 11 years of work experience, working in various different projects and companies in various different technologies. I have exposure to all the major tools and technologies, mostly automation related, as well as I have also exposure to development technologies, microservices, DevOps. I'm very interested in cloud. So those are my area of interest. I'm not expert in those areas, but I myself trying to learn those, just like you are trying to learn automation testing, right? So everyone is learning in IT. At least that much is true. Never mind. So that was about me. If you have if you want to know more about me, of course you can reach me out. Yeah, maybe after the session I'm going to share my number to you guys. You guys can actually reach me out, talk to me of not only about me. If you have any concern issues, you can directly talk to me. I can help solving those questions for you. All right. Now few ground rules I would like to talk about. But before I even go there, let me also tell you that this session, these all the session which you're going to have is going to be in English language. Uh, uh, Partly because that's a language which we usually use for communicating between in the whole everywhere, not only in India, everywhere. Secondly, it's a because there could be a possibility that someone is in the audience who doesn't understand Hindi, because I am my native language Hindi. There are people who might not understand it, so I will adhere to this English language. But you are not kind of restricted to use English only. I understand Hindi. You can talk to me in Hindi also if you're not very comfortable with English language. The why I'm trying to say this is because sometimes there are people who are not very good in English, very not very good in English, and they somehow don't ask questions in fear of framing the sentence. I don't want that, because our purpose here is not learning English. Our purpose is here is automation testing, right? So please, if you have any questions, please stop me in between, post your questions in the chat. There are multiple channels open for you to reach me during session on as well as in post sessions. So really, I would really encourage you guys to ask questions, and trust me, there are no stupid questions. I'm of the opinion that all questions has its own merits. So don't just think, oh, this question might be silly and I will kind of embarrass myself if I ask this. There's no silly questions. If you don't ask it, maybe then you are silly or stupid if you're not asking it, right? So don't judge yourself and think, oh, this is a stupid question. So I'll highly encourage you guys to ask as stupid question as possible. Okay, I'll be glad to answer. All right, so that was about me and something about how and what and you should be doing. the conduct of you during the sessions. We'll talk more about it, but as I said, I don't want you guys to get bored by this stuff. So let me just straight away jump into what we're going to do during, or we're going to do today, as well as what we're going to do in coming days. All right. So as I promised, from most of you, I mean, I think few of you were already part of my demo session. So I discussed what are the things which you're going to do and where we are heading in the future. But I'll just quickly tell about that again. So our purpose, the intention of this training, is to create a framework. That is our ultimate goal. Our ultimate goal is not to learn some concepts of Selenium, some concepts of Java, some concepts of TestNG or JUnit, automation testing, and have all the information you have is scattered around here and there. That, like, I know it, like you will get a feeling I know it, but I don't really know it, right? That happens when you learn a lot of things, but you don't connect them, right? So what we are going to do, our single focus, the ultimate goal is to create a framework, and all our energy will go towards that direction. To eventually we will going to create a software which is actually a test automation software, which also we also call it a test automation framework. And we are going to create that framework. While creating that framework, we will learn concepts. Okay, so this is what we are going to, this is how we are going to do things. It won't be something which you guys all are used to, like we do in colleges. We have chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. We do it and we mug up those chapters, and then eventually we pass the exam. It's not that. So you have to come out of that mindset. This is a different paradigm. This is something different. Okay, and since it is something different, this requires a complete different mind change, a mind shift, right? The way of working has to be different, because this is not a curriculum, this is a tool. We want to learn a software, a tool, a utility, right? This requires your work. This doesn't require you to learn things. It is doing. So you have to focus more on doing than on learning. Don't focus on learning and then thinking, okay, I'll learn it then I'll do it. Never works, never works in this space, right? So you do it. While you do it, you will struggle. You won't get it. You will get lot of trouble while trying it. You won't, something won't work, you will get frustrated. All those things will happen, and that is actually when you are learning, right? So this is what you guys have to, guys, give me a minute. All right. uh, Let me start. So as I said, I will not be boring you with automation testing and testing all those things, because few of you are already aware about what is testing and what is automation testing. And also, I'll not be boring you with all of this. We definitely will be talking about all of this while we progress in the future, but not as a first session, because I want this to be more towards letting you know where you are heading, what is the thing you are getting yourself into. All right. So I have this page where I have written down a lot of basic stuff. Okay, something about what is automation testing, where you guys will be in the future, what you guys will be doing. I will be sharing this link. You can actually go through it yourself. We of course will be definitely going through this, but slides again is not our main focus. These slides are there so that you can know while we are not together, while we are not during a live session, you are working on your own, and if you want to get hold of what we discuss, maybe then slides becomes useful, but you don't want to spend too much time on slides. Okay, but I definitely will be walking these through, because these are important things. This gives you context of why we are learning this. All right. So I'll straight away jump to what you guys going to need before you actually start this. And this brings me to this brings me to an important thing called as installations, right? Because few of you will be worrying about how to start and where to start, and unless you have those important softwares in your system, you can't do anything, right? So I will first start with telling you what do you guys need. So you guys need our laptop. First of all, you guys need a laptop. If you don't have a laptop, you can't possibly learn any of this. So I mean, there's no point of even talking about how you can or whether a laptop is required. Don't say that I have work laptop, I don't have other laptop work laptops, I cannot install this and can install that. So again, if you have these kind of constraints, try to resolve them, because you want to go to war without your weapon. I mean, I can't answer any of such questions, right? That's insane. So you have to have a laptop. Now this laptop configuration need not be too high. It's okay if you have 2 GB 3 GB RAM, it's okay. All the any standard laptop of these days, they will do just fine. Once you have a laptop, you have to install Java there, because we, as you know, we discussed you need Java, because what we're going to do is to develop a software, and any software requires a language, an underlying language. In our case, this language is Java. So we are going to do this using Java programming language. Now, in order to do anything with Java on a local system, you need to have a compiler, also called a Java compiler, and we call that Java Development Kit, right? JDK. So you need to install Java Development Kit. I have provided a link here. As I said, I'm going to share this with you later after the session, so that you know what links are where. But trust me, you don't need this. All you have to do is to Google. Google is what going you're going to uh, or Google is something which is going to save you. So trust Google, right? So however, I have put some links here as well for you to give you a quick start. If you click on this link, it will land you here. You have to download this. Now you may ask which version to download. It's okay if you download the latest version, which is Java SE 15, but minimum what you need is Java 8. Okay, now don't get confused with Java, because sometimes you see Java 1.8 and then you see Java 8, both are one and the same thing. So Java JDK 8 and above is what you need. You can also download the latest one, this is also fine. Doesn't matter what version you're using, as long as you are above JDK 8. Okay, once you install JDK 8, then I mean, I'm not going to show how to install it. This again, I'm assuming that you guys are mature enough to install it on your own. But sometimes because of some reasons which you might have done in your system in the past, there are few paths, few softwares not properly installed, and which kind of create problems when you install JDK, right? And if you're facing such problem, there are solutions to it. I might try to help you out. It's difficult for me, however, to help you out without having to see your system. So you have to send a screenshot about this is what you are getting, right? So you also have to, because we are going to join a WhatsApp group soon enough. I think we already are in that group, if I'm not wrong. If one of you is not in that group, maybe you have to ask the admin to, so that the person can, or Ekta can add you. All right, so once you face such kind of error, you have to show me that this is the error, and then I can try to help you. So first step is JDK. Once you install JDK, then you have to install Eclipse, right? Now again, it's your personal preference, because we need a place where we can write the code, right? There are multiple IDEs available. IDEs means integrated development environment. There are multiple IDEs available. Eclipse is the most famous one, but there is one more which is better than Eclipse, and I love it. It's called as Intellij. So I don't use Eclipse, I usually use Intellij, which actually looks like this. I'll just show you. So this is Intellij. It is a paid software, but it also gives community version with limited functionalities. That's what you need. Okay, so this is how it looks. It is very user friendly. It gives I mean, the development speed is really faster compared to Eclipse. But it could be little bit different with Eclipse. So if you have already worked with Eclipse, I would recommend you again use Eclipse. If you haven't worked on Eclipse before, then I would recommend use IntelliJ. I think I made myself clear. If you used Eclipse before, if you have if you have some familiarity with it and you're not comfortable with switching the IDE, then stay with Eclipse. It's still good enough tool. It's not good enough, it's super. But if you want to try something new, IntelliJ is also very very good, and I will be doing things on Eclipse. So I will be writing all the code, everything on Eclipse. So if you want to, you can jump onto IntelliJ. All right, I'll really leave up to you, it doesn't matter. Third thing you need is Maven, but you don't need it now. But if you do it, good enough. I encourage you do it now. Anyway, we have to do it later, but I will still say if you can do it now. By the way, I am on a Mac system, so the way I install things is different than the way you guys have to install if you are using Windows system. Guys, give me a minute. Yeah, sorry. Uh, all right. So Maven is what you need to install next. How to do it is I have put another link here, right? So how to install Maven on, oops, sorry. How to install Maven on Windows is you will get it here. It tells you with the screenshots how to install Maven. Now, few of you might be having question, what is Maven? Don't worry, we'll come to that later. But if you are really confused what this is, don't do it now because it's not mandatory for the first few classes. So we can do it later when you once you get more context about it, then you understand what it is. Right now, it's okay if you don't do it, it's fine. But if you really want to do it, please do it. The last installation you need is Git, because this is where we keep our code. The idea is whatever code you're going to write, it has to have a centralized repository. It should not be just sitting on your local machine. It should not be like that. Okay, so you have to learn how to use Git. That's how industry standard is. Whatever code is being written, it always has to live on a repository, not on a local machine. And this you have to practice from the very beginning, very beginning, because these are fundamental. These are not like advanced concepts, so-called advanced concept. There are no thing called as advanced concept when it comes to Git. Is something which is very basic, right? So you have to learn Git. Sorry, you have to install Git before you actually use it. Now this could get a little bit complicated in the beginning to understand, but we, as I said, our focus is not to learn chapter. Our focus is to learn good practices. Our focus is to learn and do or complete a framework, and all our focus, all our effort will be in that direction. The way we are going to do is as if we all are on board a new project, and that project is starting from scratch, and I am your team leader, and you are my, I won't say subordinates, but my colleagues, who will require my guidance to complete that project. So we are going to work in that fashion. Okay. And when that happens, I will be creating the framework. I will be starting with the framework. I will tell you this is how you do it, and then you keep on doing it one after another, right? So this is what our model will be, the way of working. All right, any questions so far in terms of installations? As I said, you can ask stupid questions. I encourage stupid questions. So if there is even a slightest doubt, concern in your head, I think now is the time to ask. And
Hi, Akash.
yeah, yeah,
It's
carry on. Thank
Priya
you
here.
for asking. Yeah.
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yeah, Supriya, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Carry on.
So, Akash, as part of the required installation, you said rather than using Eclipse, we can use the Intellij also.
Yeah.
But that is a licensed tool, right? Uh, do we need to purchase it on our own
No,
if
no,
we
no.
want to use it?
Nothing to purchase. Don't talk about purchasing anything when you're talking, when you're working with Selenium. Everything is free. Yeah. So you go here to IntelliJ website, then you click on download. When you go to
Okay.
download, you will get two options: Ultimate and Community. For JVM, so you have to download this one. I have Ultimate because I have this sort of paid, but you
Okay.
can go and download Community. So I have more functionalities here because I'm using Ultimate,
Mhm.
but you can use Community. It's free. Okay,
Okay.
all you need is this. You don't need profiling and all those things. Spring support, Swagger support, JavaScript, TypeScript. You don't know all this. Don't need all this. You all you need is these five, which is coming as a free software for you.
Okay. Thank you, Akash.
All right. What else? All good, guys. Do you understand how to do installations and all those things?
So yeah, one more question,
Yeah.
Akash.
Carry on.
So Git repository, as you said, when we install it, in that repository,
No, so you have to go to Git download. You download Git from here for Windows, then it will give you an exe file. You keep on clicking on next, next, next. That's what we do when we install something, isn't it? You keep
Right.
doing next, next, next. It will install. Once you install, you open your command prompt.
Mhm.
For me, it's terminal. For you, it will be command prompt. Then you write
Okay.
command as git version. Once you do that, you will get something like this. If you're getting this, that means
Mhm.
it is installed on your system.
Okay.
If you're not getting this, it will saying, oh, it is not recognizable command or something like that, then it means something has gone wrong, it's not properly installed. Now there can also be a case, when you install git, you won't see that in command line, but when you click on, or when you right click on any of the folder or anywhere in your system, you will get an option called as git bash here, open git bash here. That
Mhm.
also
Right.
means git is installed,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So once you do that, then I will try to talk about his use cases, why we actually use git and how we use it. The idea is this acts as a git client. That means your local system act as a client, and you want to eventually push your code into a repository called as github or gitlab or any other repository, if you, but we will be using github. The way I have put it, for example, this is my own personal repository. I have these many repositories here, right? So whatever code I am writing on my local is linked or synced with this repository. You see, so whatever I have is I have put
Mhm.
here. So I work on my local system, but my, even once I work with, done with my code, I commit it. It's called as
Mhm.
commit. I commit it. Whatever I commit goes here,
Okay.
so that
So
if I,
if
my system is installed, my system is stolen, my
mhm.
code still is safe.
Okay. So everyone will have their own repository, right? And we will not have the common repository for this thing.
Yeah, it's a good question. So the idea is when we all work as a team, there is a one repository everyone works in. That's something which we need to learn on how all of us contribute to a same cause, us work on a same repository, right? But that is long way to go. We will not be doing that initially. We will first be creating our own repositories. I will be telling you how to create your own repositories, uh, but later on we also can actually, I will also demonstrate on how you guys will be doing it, creating your
Okay.
separate repository and checking in your code. So initially we will be doing, you guys all will be doing checking in, checking out, committing on your own repository,
Mhm.
and later we,
Okay.
how we will kind of work together on this.
Okay. Fine, Akash. I mean, I will try to install, and if we face any issues, yeah.
Yes. Okay. Cool. Cool. Try that. Try that. Everyone. It's not only for Supriya. Please, everyone, try doing it. Once you try it, of course, it will not work in a first attempt. A lot of things will happen, and don't feel irritated when that happens. You are in this sessions. You are trying to learn a new concept. New concept doesn't come free, and I'm not talking about money here. You have to put efforts. You have to develop that level of patience. That's the only difference between a good developer and a newbie. Good developer doesn't know much. He just know how to be patient and how to solve the problems for longer. For example, if there is a problem, you're trying to solve it, maybe you give up in 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Good developer spends days on a problem. He has that level of patience. So that is what you guys need to cultivate, right? That is what will differentiate you with others who doesn't know. Okay, so that doesn't come for free. Again, that is something which you need to keep on doing. So don't feel bad or irritated if thing doesn't work out in the first attempt. It won't work out just like that. These things doesn't come just like that, right? You have to put, and I am here to guide you, to tell you where you are, what you are, what mistake are you making. But before you ask me, you also have to make sure, before you ask me, you have to feel satisfied that you have tried enough. Don't just, oh, you tried, not working, Akash, it's not working. Don't do that. Try hard to solve it. Spend at least half an hour, 1 hour at least, before you ask me, right? Because the time you spend, that 1 hour you spent, is actually your learning. If you ask me, I'll tell you just like that, and your learning will cease to happen. Okay. uh all right. Anything else in this, else I move on?
Yeah, hi, Akash, this is Srinivas.
Yes, Srinivas, you can move.
Yeah. Can we use try installing both Eclipse as well as IntelliJ?
Yes, you can. I have both. I have Eclipse
Okay, fine.
and I have both, but I would still recommend choose one,
Okay,
right? Because the commands and shortcuts are different in different both. I mean, you will, I mean, choose one. Choose one, because if you have like have two things, you will learn none. Okay, so better you choose one and just work on that. By the way, I
okay,
started with this. I was very good in Eclipse, and then I joined a project where I was given IntelliJ to work on. It was really frustrating for me because I was used to Eclipse, and there are different commands were here, and I kind of usually get lost where to find what's kept where, menus and all those things. But later I realized the power of IntelliJ. IntelliJ is really good. So I would actually, if you ask me personally, I would recommend everyone to jump into IntelliJ. That is my recommendation. Okay,
okay.
I
Yeah.
think it's time for us.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, never mind. All right. Any more question, guys? Okay, if not, then I'll just move on. So this is about installation. So this is what you guys need to do. There is something about ground rules. I will not talk about it today. Again, it will be boring. You can read it, but this is what it is. I'm going to add some more items here as well later, and once I add it, maybe then we'll talk about it. Okay, but this is important. This ensures, or this is necessary for your success. You attending these lectures is not, you can say, is not enough, right? I have trained a lot of people, but I can't say that everyone actually has leveraged these sessions. uh, how to make most of these sessions, how to make most of this investment which you guys are doing in terms of time and money. There are few ground rules here. Okay, so this is something which I will talk about later in detail, but not today. Just read about it. If you have something to talk, maybe you can talk, it's fine, but maybe mostly we'll talk about it later. All right, once we have done this installations, then comes the next part of slides, wherein as I said, I will not be boring you with all of them. Maybe I'll focus here first. This is my favorite slide because this gives context, and then I'm going to talk about, uh, not in this page, I'm going to talk about not Java today, I'm going to talk about rather HTML. Right, so I'm whatever we have, whatever time we have left today, I will be focusing on setting the context of all of this. And third and second thing is, I'm going to give some understanding about HTML today, because I want you guys to read about HTML beforehand. We still are long way to go to Selenium, because in between we have to learn Java first, right? So we're going to do learn Java and then we jump on to the Selenium. But for Selenium, you need HTML, and HTML will take some time for you to understand and practice. And I want this to be introduced very fast, because without understanding HTML, you won't understand what you're doing or what you're going to do with Selenium, right? So I will be talking about HTML today as well as on this slide, and then I'll open the floor for more questions, because I want you guys to speak more. All right, now where do you fit in project? Now this is something which is more relevant for the people who have no idea what testing is, or rather who have no idea what how a product is being built. And unfortunately, I don't know much about all of you. Maybe few of you are from different background, or few of you might not have done any projects before, so you don't know what it is. So I feel obligated to talk about this stuff. Okay, so this is a typical way of how a software is being developed, right? So this represents a waterfall model in some sense, but if you kind of put this into a cycle, it becomes an iterative or incremental model. So I'll not talk about SDLC and stuff. I'll just talk about what we are learning, and whatever we are going to learn, where we are going to use it contextually. What is the context of what we are going to do, or what we are going to learn? So the general idea is, client wants something to be created. Client here is your client and stakeholder. he wants a product to be created. A product can be anything, a website, a desktop application, a mobile application, could be anything, but it's nonetheless, I mean, it's a software. Now that software, he wants it to be built, so he will talk to whom? He will talk to business analyst team, because BA or business analyst is the one who understands client. Development manager, developers, they might not understand client's requirement, because client may be from banking domain, he's from trading applications, he's from insurance domain, he's from hospital domain, he's from tourism. Developers doesn't know everything, right? Let's say I am a developer, I don't know anything about, let's say, tourism, or I just don't know anything about insurance. I know a lot of things about mortgage, investment banking, wealth management. I don't know about insurance, right? So if client tries to tell me I want this to be created, I won't understand it properly. So I need this guy called as business analyst team. This is the person who is expert in business, right? He understands the terminologies, jargons, requirements, business flows, all of that. So client talks to business analyst. Business analyst's job is to jot down those requirements somewhere. Now what that somewhere is, maybe I'll talk about it as well in a while, in a brief discussion. However, I've discussed that as well. That's where we created these feature files, you remember? Rather, I can talk about it. So you see these things, right? These are not just test cases, these are, you can say, are requirements, right? So business analyst is, the role of business analyst is to write these requirements. So he understands it, he writes requirements, and then he is the one who creates user stories, user journeys, or also called as user behaviors. Once he generates that, then he passes them on to development. Now developer will then actually read this and understand it, and develop it, right? Once they develop it, then they pass on the developed product, which is still not fully tested, because once you develop it, you can't be sure that whatever you have developed is right, and that job of testing the software can't be left alone with development team, because if you create something, you somehow assume, your bias, you assume that it's perfect, right? That's a paradox. Basically, development team always think their product is of high quality. Now it's left up to the QA team, who is responsible for testing whatever product is being developed, and the product which is being developed has been developed in right quality, and it's properly adhering to the requirements written by the BA. So the idea here is simple. BA is writing this, then this document is given to development team. Development team will read this, understand it. Oh, okay, I have to create a home, I have to create a something where the user can navigate to application URL. Then okay, I have to create some text fields where the user can put in these values, and then once he does something functionally, it should update the products and quantity, right? And he develops the product. Then it is up to the QA team, who again will come here. He will say, okay, this is what BA wanted, and then he opens the application, and then he compares. This is what BA wanted, let me do these as it is in the application. Let's see, whatever BA wrote here, the application also is behaving exactly the same, right? So this is who does that. This is done by QA, right? So the quality assurance team has this responsibility of validating the requirements, whatever BA written, because BA is representing the client. So what client wanted, BA documented, BA given it to development team as well as a QA team, and QA team's job is to check whatever developer has created, is it adhering to the same requirement or not? Is there anything missing, or is there anything which is extra? Extra is still okay, but it should not be missing anything, or it should not have many defects, right? So the idea here is the document which the BA created is being used by both development team and QA. Now next comes how the QA will do it. Now QA will do it, that we understand so far, but how QA will do it? QA has two options to do it. One is he will check it manually, right? So he will read this, he will use his brain, hands, eye movements, and he will open the browser and try to simulate these, I could say, test cases. Because now what was scenario or requirement for BA has become a test case for a quality assurance guy. So this act as a requirement as well as a quality test, right? So quality assurance guys can actually run this manually to see if whatever is written, the browser is exactly, or the application exactly behaving the same. Now, and second option he has is to do something so that it happens automatically, and that's where the birth or origination of automation testing comes in. The context here is, the idea, whole and sole idea is that you can do it manually. It's fine, right? Because if you have one, two requirements here, and if you have three, four requirements here, you can do it manually. But what if you have thousands requirement, 5,000 requirements? Can you possibly do it manually? You can. You can hire more people. You can hire more resources, more quality assurance guys, right? What happens when you have 10,000 test cases? Then you have to hire more. That means you are ever ending, investment or expenditure in hiring more and more and more manual tester, which only works for 8 hours, right? Every day they works only for 8 hours, and they can also make mistakes, because to err is human. You cannot stop that thing to happen. That definitely will happen. So the idea is, what if we replace humans with robot, a software bot, which can do exactly the same thing as a quality assurance manual guy is doing, as well as he can, we don't have to pay him, because we don't have to pay anything to software, and it can work 24/7 into 365 days without any money, expecting any money. All you have to do is to impart your intelligence to that software, right? This is the context of automation testing. So automation testing in general layman terms, without any philosophical touch to it, is that you want to minimize hiring more people, and you want to automate the test cases which you have here. So manual tester doesn't have to read this and do it. Rather, all you have to do is to click on run, and the moment you click on run, let me run it, let's see it runs. The moment I click on run, the robot which I have written here right now will open the browser and do my operations, do the steps. So I've ran it, and it has thrown some error. Never mind. So the idea is this, because I think the error is the Chrome version has, I have a higher version of Chrome now. I think just recently got updated. That's why I have to do something here. But the idea is this: the robot will open the browser and run it in front of your eyes. You'll see it happening. That is how we automate the testing, right? So automation testing is two words: automation testing. So the push in the industry, now why this is relevant is, the push in the industry is to automate everything. So we are not only automating testing, we are automating everything. So if you have heard of DevOps, if you have heard of continuous integration, continuous deployment, continuous delivery, they all are in some way a form of automation happening, right? You guys are only concerned about automation testing because you want to automate testing, but there are people who want to automate the whole pipeline. From here till here, everything has to be automated. So continuous integration, continuous deployment. If you guys heard about tools like GitHub Actions, Jenkins, CI pipelines, CD pipelines, deployments, right? They all is a, from some way, is a type of automation. Okay, so this is the context of automation. So you are trying to become this guy, automation QA team. However, in real projects now these days, they people don't want to distinguish between manual testers or automation tester. Rather, they wanted to have a tester's role which knows both, right? So you are expected to know testing as well as automation testing, right? So that's why a lot of people have grown interest into it, because they've been asked from their managers, from team, to learn automation as well. Manual, it's no good. I mean, it's a good skill to have. Testing, for example, I am not a very good tester. I have seen manual in my career. I have seen people way better in finding out defects, because a better tester is who can find defects in a new innovative ways. I'm not good at it personally, if I will be frank with saying this. That really, because you need to have that eye to catch a defect, right? And manual testers have that, which is a very good skill to have, but they also need to learn this stuff. You need to learn automation as well, so that that skill remains with you, but you have to upskill yourself, because that is what the industry requires now from you. All right, so guys, any questions on this?
Um, Hi, Nivedita this side.
Yes, Nivedita, tell me.
Can you once repeat the functional and non-functional part of the?
Oh, okay, okay. I didn't talk about non-functional part. Okay, good, good, good observation. See, that's what I want from you guys. Raise stuff, raise things. Okay. So I talked about functional aspect of it. I talked about automation aspect of it. I didn't talk about non-functional part of it. So can anyone tell me what is non-functional thing? You can also put your comments in the chat if you don't want to speak.
Yeah. Hi, Akash. So
Hey, Supriya.
non-functional QA team would be responsible for the response time of the browser, or we can say the performance testing.
Actually,
Or
I have hard time hearing you. Can you please repeat again?
Hi, am I audible now?
Yeah, you are. Can you repeat that?
Yeah. So non-functional QA team would be responsible for the uh, non-functional things. I mean, which is not related to the functionality, but which is more related to the response time of the application, or we can say the performance testing related things.
Okay, okay, I could take that answer. What else? Can anyone also tell me? Anything else other than perform? Yeah.
Yeah, this Srinivas, this can be a somewhat which is non-functional QA activities like static testing.
Mm, okay, good, 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 good thought. I'll talk about that as well.
It-
What else?
Yeah,
Okay, so we discussed, let me write it down. We'll talk about it. Let me open my text edit. See, that's what I want. I want this to be interactive. That's where the fun is, you know. Never mind. Where is my text edit? Okay, I have it here. So someone said performance. Someone said static testing. Okay, static testing. What else? What is non-functional?
And also at the same time, how many users
Which one?
how many users can log in. I mean, it's same again,
How
load
many
or
users? How many users can log in?
yeah, kind of load or stress testing. I mean,
Load and stress testing. Oh, okay, awesome. I was waiting for this. All right, good, good. Uh, okay, so let me impart my knowledge. Okay, I won't say I'm an expert in this, but I'll try to create an atmosphere conducive of discussion. This is what we want. I might not be correct at all times, so don't take my words for the ultimate truth. Okay, I could be wrong as well. Why I'm saying this is because I want you guys to challenge me as well. If I'm wrong somewhere, you say, "Sir, you're wrong. Akash, you're wrong." You have to. This is not how it is, and that's where we create debate, and debate brings new thoughts and new learning. All right. So I talked about functional, talked about automation. Functional, everyone knows the functionalities of the application. For example, if Amazon.in is there, I can login, it's a functionality. I can search, I can type something, click on search, it's a functionality. All these things are functional aspects, right? I can click on product, it will open the browser, and open the product in a new tab. I can do a checkout, I can do a payment. They all are functional. So whatever is the related to functionalities of the application becomes functional requirements, functional validations, right? Now what is automation? Automation is also does the similar thing. Automation is also there to test the functionalities. So the idea of automation is also to, whatever this functional thing is happening, we want to automate that. So automation is also in some sense a sort of a functional testing. So automation is also a functional testing tool, a functional testing framework which you're going to create to automate your functional test cases. Now, non-functional actually is the other aspects of your application. They are more related to the behaviors of the application. And behavior doesn't mean functional behaviors, other attributes, also called as quality attributes, right? So the attributes, other attribute which you need is, of course, someone said performance. I think Supriya said performance. Now, performance is important to know how much time your application is taking to load. It starts from there. Then how much time it is taking application to go to different pages, and what is the expected SLA, expected time limit which it should have, which is also is defined in the very beginning as well, right? So you have to test that as well. This also comes under the purview of quality assurance. Now these are response times. Then you have to calculate the different metrics available, throughputs, response times. Then you have to keep on ramping up. For example, you have to see at what point how many users are have to have on this platform, on this application, when it breaks. So you have to find a breaking point. So that is actually, as I said, similar to performance, but comes under the stress and load. How much stress your application can actually take and before it breaks, right? And how much is expected. So that comes there. uh, we have different tools to do that. Um so uh, we are not going to talk about those tools, JMeter and HP loader. There are few tools available. There are few more cloud tools also. You don't have to worry about it because that's not what our focus is going to be. But these are non-functional aspects of it. How many users can log in, again something to do with the performance, in the sense the way it works is I can keep on increasing the users after every 2 seconds, and keep on 100, go towards till 1,000 users, and then see how different pages are behaving. So it goes page wise page, API wise APIs, and there's it's a different engineering effort in testing the application or testing the performance aspect of the application. Now someone also said static testing. So in my opinion, static testing is also an important type of testing, but it can also be called as non-functional, but I would rather put this into category called as security testing. Now security testing is there to check how secure your code is, right? And static testing or static, I would say, analysis actually tells you your vulnerabilities of your code. So static is also called as SAST, static analysis. I forgot the name. Static analysis security test, something like that. And then we have DAST, dynamic application or dynamic application system security testing. There are two things called as these, SAST and DAST. If you guys have heard of Sonar or Sonar Cube or Sonar Cloud or check marks, anyone heard of these things? Check marks, Sonar, anyone? No one had ever
Yes,
heard of Sonar Cube, check marks, all those things?
yes, Akash. I got
You heard of it, right? So these are the tools which are required to test the quality of the code which you are writing. It just tests the static aspect of it, the way you are writing your for loops, the way you are initializing your behaviors, sorry, your variables, the way you're writing the methods. Are you writing duplicate code, boilerplate code, how vulnerable your code is? All of this happens using these tools. This is called a static analysis. Then there's another thing called as dynamic analysis security test. Mostly for uh, this is mostly for how hackable your system is, right? So once you create a system, these tools, these automated tools, try to do weird things there. They try to see if your test is your application is open or vulnerable for XSS attack. So guys, read about these things. These are important. XSS attacks, SQL injections. Rather, I will show you a link also. It's called as OWASP top 10. Now OWASP is a open organization which actually lists down top attacks which happens on all the websites across the whole world. These are the attacks which happen on applications. So injections, broken authentications. For example, you are able to navigate to a page but you're not even logged in. Again, something to test, right? This all comes into security test. Cross site scripting, uh, uh, insufficient logging and monitoring, or sensitive data exposure, broken access control. These are different kinds of different kinds of vulnerabilities an application usually have which hackers exploit. So this also has to be tested, and all of this comes under this non-functional thing. We have gone a long way to discuss this, but I think it was necessary. You guys need to read about all of this. I cannot possibly cover everything. I will keep on giving you pointers, links, and you guys have to actually go through it and learn it. Okay, read about it, then you can come up and ask question and we can discuss. Okay, so these things actually come under security testing, which also comes under in some sense non-functional tests. Now there are different things also called as UI and UX, user experience, right? What then now user experience, UI UX, user experience simply means how intuitive your application is. For example, if I want to close the application, where is my close button? Usually it in Windows, it comes at the top right, right? That's intuitive. I don't need to think where is my close button is. I definitely know. But what if you are creating application which is counterintuitive? Some button is kept somewhere which user is expecting least. Then user will keep on finding where that button is, and that's very bad in user experience. So these kind of all things also are there for which comes under non-functional. All right. Guys, did you understand? Any questions so far? I hope no
No.
questions. Okay, okay, cool. All right, guys. So I was supposed to be telling something about HTML also. I think I ran out of time. I was planning for the session. I was only planning for an hour today. But I will try. Give me 5 more minutes. I'll try to talk about something about HTML so that you can actually go and read about it. Okay. So what the first thing you have to do after this session is you have to go here, HTML, or rather you have to go to W3 schools HTML. You have to go here and you have to read all the way till at least layouts or iframes, or rather lead till this point. I mean, if you can read everything, it's I'm very happy. Read about all of this. Okay, it's a very good tutorial about HTML. I will be talking about HTML. I will be telling you things about HTML in the next session. But you have to pre-read it, and if you notice, I have put this point as well in my ground rules. You see, pre-reading of the topic, because if you pre-read a topic, the retention will be higher. You will be more interested in the class. If you don't pre-read it, I'm sure you guys will be sleepy. You will be sleeping for most of the session, right? Because I do the same. I know the human behavior. So you have to pre-read. I'll always tell what I'm going to talk about next, so you have to come prepared, pre-read it, and when I talk about it, you will get more questions. You can ask more questions, and then it will give birth to more discussions, and that is how we can enhance our learning. Okay, guys, understood? So please read all of this. It's not complicated. HTML is something which is very basic. It's kindergarten stuff. Everyone is being taught this in school, if I'm not wrong. So everyone understands this, I guess. Go through it, learn, read it. If you can practice it, because this also has, you don't have to really download anything. Just do it on the browser. Don't try installing something for this. Okay, so don't do that. I'll open floor for questions. Do you guys have any questions, any general questions, anything at all? You can, now's the time to ask.
Yeah, Akash, this is Priya here again.
Yeah, carry
Yeah.
on.
So just a question related to my laptop configuration. It's a 2 GB RAM and 16 bit. So would that be okay?
2 GB RAM is okay, it's fine. I mean, it will run slow, it will irritate you a lot, uh, but it's fine, I think. It will work. It just the idea is, if you can get, I mean, I don't know, if you can get a good system, the better, but it's doable. If it will irritate you further, maybe you can think of buying something, or maybe increase the RAM, or change the hard disk. Maybe have more solid state hard disk which is faster. uh, it depends basically, but it's okay. It's okay if you have 2 gig, it's okay.
Because other than that, I have a work laptop. That's right. The personal laptop.
Other than that, Supi, I can't,
I
didn't.
have a work laptop.
You have a work laptop. Oh, that's very well. You use work laptop to do few things. It's fine. That you're not restricted. It's just on work laptops you. If there is nothing else, then we'll see you in the next session. Ekta will update you when we are going to have a next session, most probably tomorrow, because it's going to be weekend classes. But timing and all we'll figure out when it's going to be. If you have any concern with the timings, maybe raise it in the group. We can see what we can do.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. Anyone asking something?
Akash, I have one question.
Yeah.
Can you tell me something actually? Means, I don't have any knowledge about it. So how to learn and how to do actually?
Any idea about what testing?
It means yes, yes. I'm new. Means about it.
Okay, you are new to the whole development world, IT.
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh, okay, okay, it's fine. See, don't worry. We are going to talk all of this.
Means
But my
just suggest me. I means how to do that and
good,
how
good.
can manage. Yeah.
I'll tell you. So whoever is new to testing, you guys have to read as much as you can. Okay, and I will give you pointers where to start from. So the basic thing is you can just type testing basics. You'll get this Guru 99. Lot of different sites are there. You just go here and start reading.
Okay.
Okay, so read
Yes, yes.
read about this. Then we have lot of good stuff. I all will ask you to guys to go through. It's called as ISTQB documents. They are very good, but at the same time they are very boring. So I usually don't ask people to go and read this in the beginning, but they are very informative, very. So for example, if I go download this, I mean, this has everything what you ever going to need about testing. Okay, so I will be, maybe I'll post these links as well for you guys. Rather, I will place these things in the same document which I showed you earlier. I will place it here so that you can, but for in the, if you are really not comfortable with reading and all, try to go with these kind of websites, see what it is what they are writing, and they're very good, right? They're very good. It will give you a good enough perspective, right? So you see we're talking about functional testing and non-functional testing, you see. So you see these here.
One more thing,
Yeah,
we also need to know the concepts of Java, right?
yeah, you need to have, and then I will take care of it. So we'll first go to HTML. We'll learn, try, I'll give you pointers on HTML. You start with HTML first, then maybe tomorrow onwards I'm going to take you here to bottom of the slides. You keep going here, and this is where we're going to do in the next session. We're going to start with Java, how to create a project in Java. I have put down a lot of screenshots here for you to start and see how to do. And we're going to use Maven. So Java is definitely needed. But as I said, I'm saying this again and again and again and again. You guys need to do a lot on your own. These sessions alone won't help you. Okay, so you guys have to gear up for this challenge of doing it. So I will tell you a lot of things. In the beginning, I will do a lot of hand holding, but in the more we progress, the hand holding will be less and less and less. Okay, so in the beginning you really have to spend more time doing it yourself. I will guide you how to do it. You keep on doing it. I'll tell you the concepts, and we'll progress this way. All right,
Okay.
did I answer? Okay.
So,
Yes,
Akash,
one more.
Yeah, carry on.
Yeah, one more question.
Yes.
Is there in industry there is any special? Is there any sort of special requirements are there for specific IDs only or anything like this? Is there
It's
such?
not the case. See, if the project is mature from a good company, they usually use IntelliJ. But also the same kind of project people use Eclipse. So there's no preference that you should know IntelliJ or you should know Eclipse. No one asks you about Eclipse and IntelliJ. Trust me. They are not the skill
Okay.
set. They're not the skill set. They're just how your ease of writing code. It's not a skill set.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yes,
so
Sujit. Yeah.
I was asking about, do we need to read those HTML basics before the next session will do?
Can you please repeat that?
Do we need to read those HTML basics before the next session will do?
No. So before the next session, you do only one thing. You only install the softwares and go through the HTML. It's just you don't have to completely read it before you attend the next session. HTML part will come after maybe 1 or 2 weeks. But I would like you guys to keep on going through this stuff because you cannot do all this in a single day or a
Right, yeah, that's
right. It
right.
will take some time. So I'm introducing it now so that you can get some time before we actually start doing this.
Okay, that's why
So,
I was
yeah,
actually asking.
yeah. So all you have to do is install the thing which I have asked you to install. That's it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. All right, guys. I think we are running out of time now. If there is anything else, you can post your questions in the group. I am happy to help tell you. Of course.
What?
Yeah, yeah. Carry on, carry on.
Yeah, one more question. Just I actually I'm new today, so I'm not added to the WhatsApp group.
Oh, okay.
So are you going to add us or
Yeah, I
how
think
many?
Ekta should take care about it. I think whoever is in
Okay,
the call today, I think they are in touch with Ekta, isn't it? I think whoever
yeah,
asked you to join the session, that the same guy, the same person should be able to add you. Okay, and
okay,
if you are not being added, then you let me know. And how you're going to let me know? I'm going to share my number in the chat. Uh, then you can actually let me know if you can if you're out, if you're not still in the group.
yeah. Because tomorrow's class timing should we should for
Yeah.
that only.
Yes, 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 yes. So let me. All right. So we'll call it a day, guys. We'll see you tomorrow with some more technical stuff. Please install, download things which I've asked you to do. Start reading about testing. I've give you some pointers also. Start reading that as well, and then come up with lots and lots and lots of questions tomorrow. Okay, guys. See you. Bye. Good night.
Thank you, Akash. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you, Arjun.
Okay.
Good night.